And then in 152, Nurun mustawda'un fil qurubi madaduhu min an-nur al-waridi min khazain al-ghuyubi. A light deposited in the heart is assisted, is nourished by light inrushing from the treasuries of the unseen. So this is a mystical matter. And when we use this word mystical and this idea of mystery, that we oftentimes think of like Scooby-Doo and Sherlock Holmes and this type of thing. No, the word mystery actually is, in mystical, is a very good word. It means something that the aql, the intellect, is not readily able to understand fully. It is beyond the realm of the intellect, and it's the realm of the heart when we start to understand mystical knowledge, properly understood and properly defined. So naturally, that this is something that is not readily accessible to the intellect alone, but it's something that we affirm exists. There is such thing as spiritual light, and that spiritual light, where does it come from? What is its method? What does it support? Where does it originate? That it comes from the khazain of the ghuyub, the treasuries of the unseen, of the invisible realm. And then in 153 we took, and talking about the taraqi, or the way that we ascend in relation to the spiritual light that is received in the heart. And we emphasize that it doesn't happen just all in one go. That would be too much for us. It happens little by little, and it grows gradually over an extended period of time. And little by little, we etch away, until that all of a sudden one day that we receive an opening, just as we tend to use it in a negative sense, the straw that broke the camel's back. Meaning that you put a load on the camel so great, one straw, how much does that weigh? Not a lot. But it's just that one straw, and then the back breaks of the camel, right, and has to kneel down. But conversely, and in a positive sense, is that you that do a little bit of work, you do a little bit of work, you do a little bit of work, and then just one little thing, and you might not think that that thing is significant, but there's a fath, there's an opening in it. And just this idea of polishing the heart. You keep polishing, you keep polishing, keep polishing. I have people working in my house, so there's paint that gets on things. You just have to just keep scrubbing, and then it eventually comes out. Hakada. Stains are like this type of thing. Yani, and Maulana Rumi beautifully said, if you get irritated by every rub, how do you ever expect to be polished then? And so you never just know this. You're trying to get a stain out, and then you just keep, and then finally it comes out. Hakada. And the same thing happens in the spiritual path, that little by little, these things open up to us, as opposed to the Dajjalic, demonic path of darkness. You can experience the greatest of something very quickly. And so usually people that take some type of mind-altering substance, is that usually they have their greatest experience or high, which is a demonic experience, at first. And then it's all downhill from there. And they have to take higher doses and higher frequencies, and to chase the experiences that they had previously. And this, then they become addicted, and then you go downhill from there, and the way you feel after is horrible. Whereas spiritually it's the opposite. You have to work hard at first, and you put in effort, and then you get a glimpse, you get a flash that you have an experience. But then you got to go back and you work hard again, and then hakada. Over time, things reach a point where then you're blessed with a greater state and so forth. So he says here, Nurun yakshifu laka bihi an atharihi, wa nurun yakshifu laka bihi an awsafihi. He's speaking of 2 degrees of different types of light. One light unveils his traces for you. So he said that relates to understanding how everything in creation ultimately points to him. Everything. Everything in history, everything on earth, everything in the sky, everything in the heavenly realm, everything in the macroscopic world, everything in the microscopic world points to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. وَنُورٌ يَكْشِفُ لَكِ بِأَنْ أَوْصَافِهِ. And another unveils his attributes for you. So it's one thing to have everything in creation to come to understand how it points to Allah Ta'ala. It's another station to have a strong light in the heart, where now you are understanding what names and attributes of Allah Ta'ala are manifesting. And then we mentioned, with the commentary of Sayyid Ahmad ibn Ajib, but there's a 3rd degree of this, which relates to the divine essence, but he only mentioned the first 2. and then there's spiritual ascension after that to someone who moves up. So those three were all about light and the heart of the believer.